today I was tagged yet again by Active Rachel Ann. I'm going to leave a link to her channel down below. She did a get to know me tag. So I wanted to get this up pretty quick because I love getting tagged. I just love getting tagged. It was my favorite game as a child too. That, Frozen tag. I love Frozen tag. Statue tag, which is the same as Frozen tag, but statue tag, you had to pretend you were a statue of some sort, and then people had to guess what kind of statue you were. So many games when I was growing up. There was tag, there was hopscotch, Mother May I, red light, green light, duck, duck, goose, red rover, hide and go seek, bumper tag, which is not a safe one. Bumper tag was only in the winter, and that was when you would run out in the street and grab onto the back of the bumpers, and you would hang onto the bumper and drag as long as you could. I don't know why they called it tag, because you were just hanging on for your dear life. But anyway, not a safe sport. Not a safe sport. But anyway, enough of that. This is a get to know me tag, so you're going to get to know me a little bit better. I think that if you followed me for a while, I think I don't have an edit button, so I think you pretty much know my life. But I'm going to tag. I'm going to tell you who I'm going to leave active. I'm going to leave Rachel Ann's channel, Active Rachel Ann. I'm going to leave a link to her channel. But I'm going to tag Tracy from Trials of a Long Hair Girl. She tags everybody every week, and I don't think she ever gets a chance to get tagged. So Tracy, I'm tagging you. I'm also going to tag Joan from Joan's Pointed Plate. Ange from SMAC Vision. She's the brat. Mary Fran from No Excuses. And Suzanne from Suzannes WW Life. I think it's a conspiracy, Sparkles, because lately people are on to us and they know that we can't tag each other because they're tagging us first. Because I saw that you were tagged too. But tag your head. I just can't help myself. Anyway, my channel is Let's Get Fit with Sandy. It actually was started by my sister Denise back in like 2015. And it was just Let's Get Fit. And she went on a weight loss program, and she wasn't trying to like advocate losing weight so much as just getting fit. And then she kind of lost interest, and I was like a guest star. Not a guest star, I guess that's not a good word, but whatever. I made an appearance once a week, and then when she didn't want to do the channel anymore, and I had joined Weight Watchers, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna continue on, and I'm still just gonna call it Let's Get Fit with Sandy because it's taken me almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in December. I've lost close to 90 pounds. I've lost 89.6, I think it is, something like that. At one point, I was 91.6, so I still have another pound to go to get back to that. But it's taken me some long time. But you know what? I'm getting fit, and I'm learning how to do it as I'm going along. I've had good years, and I've had bad years. Last year wasn't really the greatest year. I only lost 7 pounds last year. But I never quit, so that made it a good year. So anyway, let's get on with the questions, because if you've watched my channel, you know I'm very long-winded. I can't help it. It's just who I am. That's who I am. Number one, what is your favorite Netflix show? I have so many favorite Netflix shows. I watch so many of them. Right now, my favorite, which I just completed watching, is Afterlife with Ricky Gervais. I love that show. And the bad part was like Jim and my husband, his name is Jim. We're going to be married 49 years in July. We've been together since 1967. We met on a Wednesday, January 18th at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I know people always say they're fascinated by my memory. I'm always wondering if it's because I have a little bit of Alzheimer going for me. I don't know. You know how an Alzheimer patient's... And I don't make light of the joke of that. I don't mean it to be sounding light, you know, like a light joke. But when I was 10, my mother always told me never ride two on a bike. Don't ever ride two on a bike. And so I always took my mother's advice. I always listened to what my mother said. So I was coming home with my friends, my best friends, Sue and Sydney. And they were going to ride on, we only had one bike. And so I thought, well, my mother said not to ride two on a bike, but she never said three on a bike. So Sue was riding the bike, Sydney was on the back fender, and I was on the handlebars. And then we hit a curb, and I went flying, and I hit my head on the curb, and I was unconscious. So they ran home and got my mother. My mother came, my Uncle Leonard. My Uncle Leonard, this is what I've been told because I don't remember any of this. My Uncle Leonard picked me up, carried me home. Back then, doctors came to the house. Oh, rarity then. Now they come to your house through medical things through the internet. But no, the doctor physically came to the house. And when I finally came to, they determined that I had a concussion, and that's why I was unconscious. And they had told me that later in life I probably would develop memory problems. And so then as I got older, and then they diagnosed Alzheimer's, That's my big worry. So I play a lot of mental memory games and things like that because I like to keep my memory sharp because I'm afraid that that's going to happen to me. But anyway, enough of that. Jim had a scare over the weekend, and I had just started the second season of Afterlife, which is about a husband who's lost his wife and how he's dealing with the grief. I should have just stayed away from it because I was like, if you saw my video, I was like bonkers. But it really helped me, if that makes sense. It really did help me. And I do like Ricky Gervais. I really like him a lot. I think he's funny. He's kind of a different kind of humor, which is, I think, kind of like my kind of humor. But no, I do like that. And I also like his other show, Derek, where he plays a mentally challenged man who works at a senior living facility taking care of the elderly people. And just how you can see through a childlike point of view taking care of the elderly. And I like that. And then my other one I like is Grace and Frankie, or Frankie and Grace. I never know which way it goes, but I like those two. And I'll watch any interesting documentary. I love documentaries, and so I watch a lot of documentaries on Netflix. Describe your first crush. Okay, all you guys, you know who my first crush was? Yes, Chuck Cybeck. Didn't know I existed. I just loved Chuck Cybeck. My brother bought his drum set, and I was just so, oh, he's in my house. He's setting up the drum set. He's going to show my brother how to play it. Oh my gosh. Didn't know I existed. Didn't give me the time of day. It was like, whatever. But my very first boyfriend's name was Bobby, and I remember we kissed in front of the house. And then we went to Denby High School because they had open swim, and I don't swim well. I can save my life, but don't plan on me saving your life because you're on your own. I have enough to take care of myself. But he kept dunking me under the water, and I just thought, you know what? I thought you were my boyfriend. And now I know it was because he was flirting with me, but I thought, I'm done with you. So that was my first two crushes, I guess. What is your favorite film and why? My favorite film of all time, and it's my favorite book, is To Kill a Mockingbird. I just love that movie. I watch it every time it's on. I don't have the DVD, which I'm surprised that Jim's never got it for me for Christmas. But every time it's on Turner Classic Movies, Jim tapes it for me, and I always watch it. I just love it. I love it so much because I just think it just shows a man that goes against everything that everybody else believes in, as far as racism and things like that, and just sees the good in people rather than like the color of their skin, or not that they did this in the movie, but I took it to mean like, I don't care if you're gay or you're straight or bi or whatever you are. I don't care if you're a Catholic or a Lutheran or a Jewish person or you practice Islam or Buddhism or anything. I judge people for who they are, and I look at people for who they are. There's jerks no matter what in life. There's just jerks. I mean, they come in all colors. They come in all religions. They come in all shapes and sizes. So I like to know the person, and I think that this movie kind of brought that out, and I never miss it. So anytime you see it on, like on Turner Classic Movie, no, it's either being taped or I'm watching it. One of the two. Number 4 is, what was your dream job as a kid? My dream job as a kid was like once a week. My mother would, we always shopped on a Wednesday, grocery shopped on a Wednesday. I later found out that was the day my father got paid. But we never ate dinner until my mother got home from the grocery store. And that, once again, I found out was because we didn't have any money to buy food until my father got paid. And then once a week, you got to go to the store with my mother, and you got to pick out the cereal for the week. But, I never had, like, you got your choice of Corn Flakes, Cheerios, or Rice Krispies. But you were the one that got to pick which one it was. Or shredded wheat. That was another one we got to pick. But I loved going to the grocery store with my mother, and I always admired the grocery clerks because I thought, oh, what a dream job. Oh, my gosh, would I love that job. That's such a dream job. And then when I was in college, I had a job at a produce market where I was a clerk at the it was a grocery store, but mostly produce that they sold. And then come to realize it wasn't that great of a job. I mean, it was nice because I don't know if you've figured this out about me, but I love to talk, and I love to talk to people, and I'll talk to anybody. I don't care. And whether you want to talk to me or not, I'm going to talk to you. And you might give me the look in that, and I'm still going to go on. And then you're going to talk about me afterwards about, oh, this annoying woman that I met in the grocery store today. But so I did love it for that aspect, but I just realized that how poorly people treat you, how they take you for granted. And especially now with with the people that have to work in the grocery stores and some of the abuse that they have to take from some of the people. You know, it's like they don't make the rules of the store. They're just following the rules themselves. And like if you have to wear a mask, why are you yelling at the clerk? They're taking their life in their hands to take care of you. And the least you can do is the little bit of putting a mask on to protect them. If not just to protect yourself, just to protect them. But don't get me started. Because my nephew works at a supermarket, and so he tells me about the abuse that he takes. You know, it's just like whatever. What is your coffee order? I don't drink coffee. I don't like coffee. I love going to Starbucks though, because my favorite drink at Starbucks is the Mango Dragon tea. I love that. Or sometimes I'll get the Mango Dragon with a splash of lemonade. But it's almost $5, and I'm cheap. I don't like to spend that much. So Verizon has a Verizon Up plan because I have Verizon for my cell service. And whenever they have the extra, like you can clip out a coupon for $5, I go and get my little Mango Dragon drink because I love it. But I drink tea. I love black tea. Lipton tea, Earl Grey tea are my two favorite go-to teas. I do like a flavored tea, and Carrie from Weight Watchers with Carrie sent me a whole box of like different flavored teas, which I love. I just savor each one, but that's one of my favorite teas. Number 6, have you moved from home? Where to, and how was the experience? Well, I don't know what they mean by that because I'm 69 years old and obviously I'm not going to be moving from my home. But I went from my parents' home to living with Jim and always being with Jim. But we've moved. When we first got married, we had an upper flat. And from an upper flat, we rented a house. And then from the house, we bought a house. And from that house, we bought this house. And so I've moved a couple times. But the experience has always been really nice. When we had the upper flat was when we first got married, and we didn't have any furniture. I mean, we bought the bed with our wedding money. I had a card table for the kitchen table. We bought a stove and refrigerator used for like $50. And we had the basement furniture from Jim's parents that we moved in. I got married 8 days after Jim got out of the service, and so my brothers and Jim's brother had moved all the furniture in, so there wasn't anything to do. When we bought the house, when we were moving from the upper flat to the house, by that point we had stuff and I had kids. So I would go each day and move a little bit more, clean the house, get everything all done. So the day we actually moved, all we had to do was bring the furniture and set it in place, and we were done. And so Jim said, "This is the way to move. This is the easiest move at all. I'm gonna, like when people say it's, like a pain because you got to pack and unpack and all that." And he says, "No, we just came, we put it, and we went out that night. We went out to dinner and the show." And so the next time we moved in 1986, I didn't pack not one thing until it was time for him to move because I wanted him to see. I wanted him to have the full experience. And he says, "This sucks." I go, "Yeah, because I did all the work before." But he didn't learn from that because when we moved in 2006 into this house, I had everything packed except for his little man cave down in the basement. And let me tell you, the family got very annoyed with Jim because he didn't have anything packed. But anyway, we're in this house till we're gone. This is it. Jim, I've always said that if Jim passes, I'm just going to stay here. I'll have one of my kids move in with me. But if Jim passes, he's going to stay here and not pay anything until they kick him out. Two different thoughts. That's how we have two different thoughts. Because our house is not paid for yet because Jim and I are terrible with money. I don't know if I've ever told you that, but we're terrible with money. So we have another mortgage on the house. So anyway. Have you ever failed at anything, and what did you learn? Yes, I have failed at weight loss. And the thing that I've learned is that I don't have to fail anymore. I've been on so many diets, so many fad diets. I've lost so much weight. I probably have lost over 1,000 pounds in my lifetime. It's just, I lose like 20 and then I gain back 40. And then I lose the 40 and then I gain back 60. It's just, it's been a vicious cycle. And I've never really learned how to lose weight and do it healthy. And it wasn't until I joined Weight Watchers that I learned that I can lose weight, I can keep it off. It doesn't matter how fast or slow I go because you know what? When I lost that weight fast, I gained it back just as fast, if not faster. And so I'm learning this time. The other thing that I think I've failed at, and it's kind of like I don't know, it's a touchy subject for me because I believe that your faith is wherever you are around you. Like if that's how you believe, that's how you believe. And I have I believe that with my whole heart and soul, because I don't think you need to physically go into a church. With that being said, though, it does bother me that my children don't go into a church. I don't know. I'm like a hypocrite in that regard, because I know that they believe in their faith, and I know that they have faith all around them, and I know they're God-fearing, and I know that they don't make fun of me or anything like that. They understand that, like, this is where I get my benefit from. And I completely know that they don't need to go into a building to receive, Jesus in their heart. But I just think that I get so much out of it, and I think that they should get that too. For many, many years, for my Christmas present or Mother's Day or something like that, they always attended Mass with me. But then I got thinking that, like, I know they're doing it for me, but they should be doing it for themselves. And so I told them, you don't need to do that for me anymore. And they took me up on it. So they don't do it anymore. But I know in my heart of hearts that, that they're very strong in their faith. And it's just something that I personally feel is a failure in myself with that. But, I go for everybody. So they'll get their little things from me, at least. That's what I'm thinking. I did tell them that I'll be very upset and I'll come back to haunt them all if they don't bury me in the church. But I know they would. I know that. Do you have any pets? If you do, show them to us. I don't have any pets right now. At some point in my life, before I die, I'm going to have a dog and a couple cats. I just know that. I've had pets my whole life. I've had dogs or cats. I mean, I've had our favorite cat that Jim loved was Donald. We taught that cat how to fetch. It was a smart cat. I mean, you'd throw a ball and say, "Go get it," and it'd run and get the ball and bring it back and drop it at your feet. It was a smart cat. And then Billy went wild on us because it just, I don't know what the deal was with Billy. Billy just went wild on us. And then we had Minnie Moo for like almost 20 years. And then I had Millie, which I told you was my one dog that just always ran. So we sent her to the farm, a real farm, not the farm, but she went to a real farm. And she lived a long life there and loved every minute of it. And then we had Riley. So, what are your pet peeves? Well, my one pet peeve always was when people would say, I'm doing this 24/7. I hate that because, like, what are you doing 24/7? Like, you're the only thing you're doing 24/7 at one point in our lives was that you were breathing. That was it. You're not staying awake 24/7. You're not eating 24/7. You're not working 24/7. But now I'm with Jim 24/7. We're together every single day. So other than this past weekend when he was gone, we're together all the time. So we are together 24/7. But as far as that goes, like when people say, I'm working 24/7, or, my kids are with me well, the kids aren't with you now 24/7. But anyway, that's one of my pet peeves. And one of my other pet peeves is that when people judge people for not who they are, but what they think they are. It's like, get to know them first and then make your decision. Like I said, you're not going to like everybody in life. I was brought up that, not everybody in life is going to like you. They're just not. But there's enough people in the world that you're going to find people that do like you. So, why bother with the ones that don't like you? There's enough people that like you that you don't need to worry about the ones that don't. What is your favorite color? Red. I love red. It's my favorite color. I just love red. Do you have any siblings? Yes, I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers. My one brother has passed in 2011. And then my sister Sue passed in 2016. So, but I have my brother Michael, my sister Mary, and my sister Denise. Have you ever been to concerts or festivals? Which was the most memorable? What was the most memorable? Yeah, I used to go to concerts all the time. I went to see Aerosmith. I went and saw Jeff Daniels perform. I saw Paul McCartney. I've seen Billy John and Elton John. I've seen Billy Joel alone. I've seen Billy Joel with Elton John. I've seen Elton John alone. What else have I seen? Andrew Dice Clay. I went to one of his concerts. I know there's some more. My biggest regret, and people know this that watch my channel, is I could have seen the Beatles in person. I could have met them. My mother wouldn't let me go because of my convulsions that I had when I was a teenager. And so she wouldn't let me go. And my best friend was one of the security guards or the policeman that was protecting them. And so she got to meet them. And I could have went to the concert and met them and everything. And I complained so much about that at one year for my birthday, Jim bought us tickets to a concert for a Beatle cover band that was at Freedom Festival in Sterling Heights. Or is it Sterling Heights? I think it's Sterling Heights. But anyway, it's like an outdoor festival thing. And it was the Beatle cover band. And they did really well. And they sounded just like the Beatles. And so he says, are we done with hearing about the Beatles now? No, we're not. What social media are you addicted to? YouTube, Facebook. The only thing I don't watch much Instagram. Occasionally Leslie Jordan, he'll pop up. I love him. He was on Will and Grace. He's funny. I watch him, but I'm not really big. I have an Instagram account. My sister set it up for me. I never go on it, so I don't know. But I have one. Anyway, you're going out with friends. Describe your night. We're going out to eat. My favorite. We go out to a restaurant. It's my favorite, and I love going. And I put a clip on my video yesterday. It said that if I would have known that the last time I ate out at a restaurant was my last time eating at a restaurant, I would have ordered the dessert. Yeah, I would have. I would have ordered the dessert because I love it. I have a couples dinner with my friend Sherry and her husband Joe, and my other friend Donna and her significant other Jay, and then Bertie with Ron. And we go every month. And then I go out with my brother and my sisters once a month. We go out to eat. And then I go every Sunday with my daughter, which all of this is past. We're not doing that anymore. But anyway, but thank you, Rachel. Thank you for doing it. I'm sorry it's so long. I go on and on. But once again, I'm going to tag Tracy over Trials of a Long-Haired Girl, Suzanne at Suzannes WW Life, Mary Fran over at No Excuses, Ange over at SMAC Vision, and Joan over at Joan's Pointed Plate. I'm going to have the questions down below. I'm going to leave links to their channels. Go over to their channels and subscribe. And thank you, Rachel, for tagging me. And once again, I apologize for the length.